Hi there. Welcome to the Lillyroddyshow, coming to you from the LRS studios here in Houston, Texas. Thank you so much for joining me this week as we look at May 10th, Mother's Day, through May 16th. This week, Neptune, planet of spiritual retreat and low energy, remains strong through this month. Mars, planet of action and defensiveness, moves into Gemini for the approximate 45-day stay. We are all going to be more verbally aggressive with Mars in Gemini. Of course, the more important information for all of us is that Mercury is going retrograde on the 15th. When Mercury is retrograde, it's time to stop pushing forward and start taking some time to review where we've been. Mercury retrograde is good for high school reunions, getting stuff organized, or cleaning out all those piles of clutter. It's never a good time to start a new project, buy a car, purchase anything electronic, sign a document, or date someone new. And of course, here in Houston, our weather continues to be for the summer hot and muggy, and more hot and muggy through the summer. Get back with me on that report. If you would like to get in touch with me for a personal session or to ask me a question, I can always be reached at Lillyroddyshow at AOL.com or find us on Twitter, Pinterest, or Facebook. I will include all of this information on the show site on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so at the end of the show. Now let's look at what's going on for next week. Sunday, May 10th. Happy Mother's Day. Honor your inner supportive mom. The moon transits Aquarius, the sign that rules the nervous system, for the entire day. The moon trines Mercury at 12:10 p.m. Our activities run smoothly today. It's a great time to take mom out to lunch, and we're all a bit more open and expressive. In the evening, the moon opposes Jupiter at 6:51 p.m. Our positive mood continues through the evening. We'll be looking for some sort of entertainment or diversions this evening. It's a great time to be out with friends and family. Monday, May 11th. The day begins with the moon in freedom-loving Aquarius. She becomes void of course in Aquarius at 5:35 a.m. and remains so until she enters otherworldly Pisces late in the evening at 9:53. This is the beginning of a 16-hour void of course moon, which will encompass the most productive part of our typical day. With the moon void in Aquarius, keep your schedule flexible today. In the morning, the moon sextiles Uranus at 2:04 a.m. This is a very good, mentally stimulating time. This aspect may keep us from going to sleep too early. If you are awake, it's a good time to be connecting with friends from your past. The moon squares the sun at 5:36 a.m. We're feeling very active this morning. It's a good time to get out for a jog at the park or just getting your day started early. Now the moon is void of course in Aquarius at 5:36 a.m. and will remain so until 9:53 p.m. Essentially most of the day. Mars, planet of quick response and initiation, enters Gemini at 9:40 p.m. for an approximate 6.5-week stay. Mars in Gemini indicates a time when we turn our thoughts into actions. We may experience a lot of frustration with travel, especially associated with our daily routines. Communications with other people will be more direct and possibly even heated. Remember, no one can be challenged who does not accept the challenge. And always, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Choose carefully. The moon enters Pisces at 9:53 p.m. and is no longer void of course. We're responding more and feeling more emotionally connected. The moon squares Mars at 9:54 p.m. We have a little blast of energy in the latter part of the evening. Essentially, we're just feeling a bit more cranky. It could be a time for some online gaming or watching your favorite action adventure flick. Tuesday, May 12th. The moon occupies Pisces, the sign of intuition and inspiration, for the entire day. Our first aspect, the moon, squares Saturn at 2:01 a.m. If you're awake, you're recounting the past and possibly even feeling a bit of nostalgia. Otherwise, this is the best aspect to sleep through. Moon square Saturn, never the best of friends. The moon trines Venus at 6:16 a.m. We're all in a very sweet mood this early morning. This will make us want to indulge in a little bit more physical pleasures. So if you can't get laid, have another cupcake. The moon conjuncts Neptune at 2:03 p.m. We'll all be wanting to take a break from our routine at this time, as well as needing some time to be alone for some personal meditation. This is a good day for creative endeavors, even in your day-to-day routine. The moon squares Mercury at 5:28 p.m. Our chatty and more reactive self is stimulated in the late afternoon. This is a good time to be doing organizing, collecting, and connecting with your clients or getting your agenda in place. In the evening, the moon sextiles Pluto at 11:48 p.m. We are in a serious but very understanding mood this evening. We are interested in hearing about the significant people in our lives. This is a good time for planning for any sort of future family activities. Wednesday, May 13th. The moon resides in Pisces, the sign of the rescuer, for the entire day. But she does turn void of course in Pisces at 11:55 a.m. Why should I mention it if it wasn't going to be void of course? Anyway, and she'll remain void of course until she enters Aries at 12:13 a.m. on Thursday morning. This is the beginning of a 12-hour-long void of course moon, which will occupy a large part of our waking hours. Plan your more important activities before the moon goes void, which is before 11:55 a.m., or after the moon goes void, and then when it moves direct on Saturday. With the moon void in Pisces, let your inner emotional guide show you the pathway for today. That was hard to get through. Must be that void moon that's coming up. The moon sextiles the sun at 11:55 a.m. When these two planets combine, it's a good time for most any kind of activity. It's an especially good time to connect with people on a more personal level. We're ready to listen to what they have to say. And now the moon is now void of course in Pisces at 11:55 a.m. and she will remain so until she enters Aries shortly after midnight at 12:13 on Thursday morning. Follow your intuition during the void of course moon. Yay! Thursday, May 14th. Today is Ascension Thursday. The moon begins the day void of course in Pisces, but she quickly enters confident Aries at 12:13 a.m. and is no longer void of course. We'll feel more certain as the moon enters Aries. The moon sextiles Mars at 2:50 a.m. If you're awake, this is a good time to be working on a project that requires your focus and attention. If you're sleeping, it could provide for an active dream night. The moon trines Saturn at 4:01 a.m. Now, this is a good time for planning ahead to make us feel more secure. We'll want to be around familiar things this morning. If you're up early, you're preparing for your day. The moon squares Venus at 12:33 p.m. As lunchtime arrives, we're feeling a lot more laid back. We're looking for some places to stop and smell the flowers. We're all feeling a bit more self-centered with moon squaring Venus. A long lunch is favored under this transit. I've noticed in my advice, frequently I'm talk about food. Imagine a Cancer talking about food. The moon sextiles Mercury at 8:59 p.m. We're very mentally active this evening and will be looking for something fun and entertaining to do. This is a great evening to be out with close friends and escaping from the pleasures of the day. If you are having to work, you're definitely making the best of it. Friday, May 15th. The moon spends the entire day in Aries, the sign of the trailblazer, but she does turn void, of course, early on 7:03 a.m. She remains void, of course, until she enters Taurus at 2:02 a.m. on Saturday morning. Now, this is the beginning of another long 19-hour void, of course, moon. With the void moon taking place during the normal workday hours, you may want to plan your more important activities for Saturday, tomorrow, or the next week. We start the day with the moon trines Jupiter at 12:25 a.m. If you're awake, you're feeling very socially connected. This would be a great time to get out for some stargazing or late-night treats. Mars opposes Saturn. Cue the heavy organ music. 1:03 a.m. This aspect has been in effect for the last 3 days and will continue to be in effect for the next 4 days. Our internal initiator, Mars, meets with our long-term planner, Saturn. All of our ideas will be put through a period of testing and looking for any flaws in our programs. We are trying to make the very best use of our energy and resources as possible. We may all move slower and feel that we're pulling a lead weight behind us. In real life, if you're a person who moves quickly, this aspect will definitely slow you down and introduce a lot of frustration into your life. If you're more of a careful planner and plotter, then you'll notice that everyone is adapting to your point of view. We may all be feeling the judgment of why we aren't better at being ourselves. Anytime Saturn is active, it's important to choose your judges carefully. The moon squares Pluto 1:43 a.m. Emotionally, this is a time of purging and ridding ourselves of toxic feelings. You may do some of this in your dreams tonight. In the morning, the moon conjuncts Uranus at 7:03 a.m. We're up early and feeling perky with when these two planets meet. You will be rushing ahead and you may not pay attention to all of the details. Slow down so you don't drive yourself off the road. This is an excellent time for an early breakfast meeting with friends or colleagues. Now, the moon is now void, of course, in Aries at 7:03 a.m. and will remain so until she enters Taurus at 2:02 a.m. on Saturday morning. With the moon void in Aries, do what you want to do. Mercury retrograde begins today and will last through June 15th. Focus on what's on your plate and don't start new activities until June. Saturday, May 16th. Today is Armed Forces Day. The day starts with the moon void, of course, in Aries, but she quickly enters Taurus, the sign of the five senses, at 2:02 a.m., and is no longer void, of course. As the moon enters Taurus, our energies will be more grounded and focused on creating stability. Venus trines Neptune at 1:49 p.m. Our sense of love and compassion for our fellow human beings is enhanced and activated when these two planets meet. We'll all be looking for a greater sense of inner peace. Your significant relationships could easily provide this for you and to help give you a greater sense of meaning and purpose in your life. Overall, it's best that we take it easy today and let things unfold instead of us pushing our own agenda. Relationships are improved when these two planets combine. This is a great afternoon to be at the beach with someone special. The moon sextiles Neptune 6:06 p.m. Our laid-back and romantic energies continue through the evening. We'll feel more comfortable with familiar friends and nurturing routines. You may want to get out for the evening, but not if it's too much of a hassle. Venus sextiles the moon, 6:25 p.m. The romantic and sensual side of our nature is emphasized when these two planets combine. It's a wonderful time to be with your partner or close friends and family. Fire up the barbecue grill and open that special bottle of wine. Well, that wraps it up for this week, May 10th through May 16th, 2015. I'm always glad to have the chance to share my astrology with you. Please join us next week as we look at May 17th through May 23rd, 2015. This is the Lilly Roddy Show, coming to you from the LRS studios here in Houston, Texas, reminding you to keep those stars in your eyes. Bye-bye.